Terry had a vision that most folks today couldn't even wrap their heads around. One of his missions was to restore the Rottweiler to its royal standing. See, Terry saw what the years had done. He saw how the breed was losing its grit, being softened up for the living room. But Terry knew better. He knew the Rottweiler wasn't meant to be pampered showpiece. It's a working breed. He used to tell me all the time, a correct Rottweiler with the original temperament and character would be a handful for the average person. Terry was the only man I knew who refused to move an inch off the standard. He was the keeper of the old school knowledge, and he was one of the few souls selfless enough to pour that wisdom into whoever was willing to listen. In today's society, people meet people all of a sudden. That's my man. That's my guy. And there are natural connections. But on a personal level, in a short time period I met Terry, he was my guy. Through it all the debates, the arguments, off screen and all that stuff. He really held me accountable. But we talked almost every other day. Now, Terry would go deep into the genetics and the history of the Rottie that I find myself lost in the sauce, but there wasn't a question he couldn't answer. He didn't have a stomach for the politics of this game. He hated the way the industry was moving, the modern handling, and the way the clubs were operating. He'd been away from the scene for a few years, and coming back in it was a bit of a culture shock for him. And look, Terry wasn't a perfect man. None of us are. We went toe to toe in many a debate about these major players and the state of the industry. At the end of the day, Terry was right. The politics are eating the heart out of these breeds from the top down. One thing Terry stayed on me about was my imagery. How we present ourselves to the world. He wanted to see everybody win, but he had a special fire for seeing Black folks succeed in this industry. We're a minority in this dog world, and Terry wanted us to take our rightful place at the table with excellence. He had a special place in his heart for two soldiers in particular, Rain Dixby and Marcus Edwards. He saw the potential in y'all when we got him on the podcast, and believe me, he's still expecting big things. Well, Terry, it's 2026 now. We didn't get to check every box on the list, but my brother, you did more than enough. That was one hell of a comeback you made. You did it on your own terms. You spoke your truth, and you never bent the knee to the politics. You did it your way. Rest easy, friend.
I'm the true champion, and they make me the underdog. I'm gonna show them all they're wrong because I'm the champion. I'm the real champion. There'll never be one like me.
Welcome to NWA Cane Corso Podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
What's good, everyone? Welcome back to another show. I am your host, Joe. This is the NWA Cane Corso Podcast. We talk absolutely everything dogs. Nothing is left behind. Take what you want, leave what you don't want. Feel free to comment. But this is kind of a safe place for breeders, trainers, dog people, dog lovers, and everything. So just keep the comments civil, no disrespect, and hey, let's have a good time. This time, we got a very deep, intelligent mind. A guy, you might see him in the comments sometime. A guy that that a lot of us know in the real world, talk to over the phone. He's our big brother. He don't let me get away with stuff. He hears something crazy, he's gonna hit me up. Like, Joe. But that's what we all need. Been in a Rottweiler game for years, but I'll let him tell you more. Brother Terry Cornish of Himmel Rottweilers is in the house. What's up, brother?
What's going on? Shalom, brother. How you doing?
Oh man, everything's good. All is well. Yep.
Like I said, look at you. Look a little dapper with the polo on. I like that, man. I like that.
Yeah, sometimes I got to straighten it out a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm a country boy like you though, but I don't like to do all that. I didn't even like ties when I was showing. I didn't like a tie when I had the wedding. As soon as I said I do, I took my tie off.
Man, I'm the same way. Like going to church. As soon as I was done, this suit it was just. I'm a t-shirt, shorts kind of guy, t-shirt, jean type of guy.
Yes, sir.
My pops used to hate that I wasn't a dresser like him.
Yeah, for sure, sir. For sure. Yeah.
Well, man, we honored to have you on, and about time this has aired, you would have been on another show. The world is recognizing the great mind you have with these dogs. Let's start out by just if they've never met you or heard you before, would you just give the audience just a little bit of background with you and the Rottweiler?
As I stated a little earlier, I'm from the country, so I've seen all kinds of dogs, variety of dogs, a mixture of dogs. So I've always been around dogs for a long time. When I moved from Texas and my parents came here, I didn't even know I had a border collie until I got older to understand what the breed actually was. My dad always had German Shepherds. But when I first seen the Rottweiler, there was something about it that drew my attention, and I didn't see it necessarily through the movies like Damien, the movie Omen and things like that. I seen them actually doing police work. I seen them at the Schutzhund field, and so I took an interest to them because I had a different type of background when it comes to seriousness of dogs. I come from the bulldog world, and it's a totally different world. The one in which I entered into when I first got a Rottweiler. I got my first one. I was a senior in high school, and I was making payments on him. At that time, he was $2,500, so I made payments. But the way that I found the Rottweiler is because I was a dog fancier anyway. So growing up from the ages probably about 14, 15, 16, 17, my parents would take me to the pet store. We would or go to the mall, and I go to the pet store, and I found this magazine called The Dog World. And The Dog World had articles and interviews of people of different breeds, but I would always go directly to the back once I found out that's where I would find the Rottweilers. And a lot of the times, that's where you found a lot of the protection dogs in the back, the Dobermans, some of the real German Shepherds. And I say real because they were being bred to do the work that they were bred to do. Show I didn't even know anything about when I got my Rottweiler. I know about cattle, sheep, horses, but I didn't even know there was a world for the show dog Rottweiler. And I also didn't really know that that there was a thing such as Schutzhund, clubs, people that got together and worked in a sport in which they did obedience, they do tracking, and they do protection work, but controlled. I'm from the country. I've seen old ladies, old men, young men make a dog do anything they wanted to. But the language like plots and sits and things of those nature, which was adopted by the people who use the sport, was new to me. So when I first began to really say I'm going to get one, I didn't know they was going to cost as much as that. $2,500 working in high school.
Back
Yeah,
then too. That's a lot of money, man.
that sure is.
Mm.
Um, so I was looking through the newspaper, and that's kind of interesting because that's where you found a lot of breedings back then because we didn't have social media. And then once you became a student of the breed, you found out that there were books. Like Catherine Thompson had books, Joan Clem had books. There was a variety of books on the breed. And so you did a lot of reading to kind of put things together and put them together. And so um, in the newspaper, I would see ads for Rottweilers, Doberman Pinschers, and they would read Rottweilers, protection dogs, etc. You know, it always was a foundation around protection, guard dogs. And when I would go see them, um, they scared the hell out of me. Yeah.
Mm.
But I still was fascinated because I've always been around dogs, seen dogs that fight or have strong character and temperament. And so what fascinated me is also the gentlemen and the women that handled these dogs because they had control over these beasts because
Yeah.
that's what they were at that time. They were beasts. You didn't typically go to see a litter and the litter was from show people. Matter of fact, I didn't go to see litters that were show people until after I got out of college at 21 and I had gotten married and we moved to Oklahoma. And that's when I started hearing about the show dogs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
And so what happened was while I was at college out there, I seen Eckhart at the park. Eckhart self with some Gen X Rottweilers at the park. And I went over because I liked it, the protection portion of the dogs. I liked that anyway. And we began to talk and he became a mentor of mine. I broke my knee in college and was on the beaches playing basketball. Finally came back and we moved to Oklahoma. And I just, let me back up. Before I left, I bought one and I had to do it on payment plans from a guy named Charlie Warren, as a matter of fact. And I didn't get the chance to see no dogs at first.
Mm.
I'm talking about for at least a week. And he was just going over books. He was going over mainly control over their character and temperament. And when people talked to you back then, that was the focus, that you have to have a strong hand on these dogs. Even when I began to venture into getting show dogs, the breeders would typically put puppies in positions to where they had to be corrected.
Right. Right.
And they would show you how to correct it. I've been to some now and they don't do that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get right into the confirmation portion of the dogs. And when I first got back into it 4.5 years ago, there were some things like everybody just say temperament, 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 temperament. And I never heard anybody say nothing about the character.
Right. So that's two of the topics we're going to talk about tonight.
Mhm.
Character. What does the term character mean when you're talking about a Rottweiler?
Well, I used to tell people, and a lot of people seen the movie that was a Disney movie, the old Yeller, right?
Yeah.
And I can watch that movie again and again. I've probably seen it a million times because of the relationship that the dog had, not just with the young man, but with the family, strangers, encounters with uh, beasts that was trying to either steal the sheep or he would take the dog and hunting. And what I noticed when I seen that dog and the relationship was that the dog could think. Um, we a lot of times we say, and again, I'm from the country. We don't use words like commands like they do in Schutzhund and
Right.
IGP. If he
Yeah.
said go over there and sit down, he got over there and sat the hell down, and he
Yeah.
didn't move.
Right.
Um, if you told him to get somebody, they could crawl underneath a Volkswagen. He going underneath the Volkswagen, and it would be a mutt. So the idea of training and putting these huge words onto the training, the mental aspect of the dog is a little bit different from me because I come from a place where if you build a relationship with the Rottweiler, not the Rottweiler, and we'll talk about why I call it the Rottweiler, because it's the original dog. And I see people breeding Rottweilers today. The Rottweiler is the complete dog, the one that is willing to work, the one that wants to work, doesn't have to be pushed to work. A lot of things in the Rottweiler are supposed to be done naturally, natural instincts, and we're supposed to curb those things, direct those things into the environment in which we want to have with them. So when I think about character as it relates to temperament, a dog that can think, a dog that is willing to push himself past it, past the things that you want him to do, that he's wanting to do. For example, a lot of people talk about anatomy, but you never hear them talk about the brain as part of the anatomy of the dogs.
Yeah.
A dog can run 5 miles, but you want him to go 7, and his brain will say, no matter how you feel, no matter how your legs feel, you can do the 7, and he's running it just as hard, and he'll fall out if you take him too far. But at the same time, what I've noticed about Rottweilers, unlike a lot of dogs, they'll only bump their head so many times, right? A lot of people say that they want the dog that will run through a brick wall. Well, the Rottweiler is smart enough that he'll only do it or run up to it once or twice. And when he sees an opening, he can go around it.
Yeah.
Go around it to get to you, right?
Right.
Or go over it, right? Because they're supposed to be agile to do that. And I think that's part of their character, and that's supposed to be natural. When you talk about temperament is the makeup of DNA and genetics, right? You have some dogs that are just naturally mean, aggressive dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have some dogs that are just okay. They both work hand in hand together, because as with humans, their interaction with humans, they have to work hand in hand together. They have to be able to think on their own, not just like some of the smaller breeds or the hound breeds, just to bark, just to be barking. You should be able to tell the distinguishing in the barks and what's going on. There's no reason to just be acting a fool because a kid is going up and down the street, and part of that is due to the owner, right? I think we put a cap on just how special the Rottweiler's character and temperament is. We're looking for more for the confirmation side of it, but we put a cap on it. They're very intelligent dogs, way far beyond what you can imagine. They're problem solvers.
Yeah.
I noticed that about them. That's why they're dangerous, because they can think.
Yeah.
Once they begin to understand their environment, routines and things of that nature, they're also, that's because of the owner of the dog. And so that dog is always watching for an opportunity to be what he is, which is a Rottweiler.
Mm-hmm.
He knows when you're slacking. He knows when you're not slacking. He knows when you're being tough. He knows when you're being soft. He knows who's the man of the house, whether it's the woman or the man.
Yeah.
He knows who he wants to bond to. That's a thinking dog.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with temperament.
Right. This is something I wanted to run by you. I had wrote down to ask you. Is this a fair assumption? Excuse me. Is character like the foundation of a house, and temperament maybe like the structure or the layout of the house? Would it be fair to assume?
I would actually like to say that temperament is the foundation, and character is the blood that runs through the foundation. Is the what do they call it? The barbed wire.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
The
Okay. I see where you put that.
that holds and it controls
Yeah.
the whole inside of them.
Right. Okay.
I'll use Mike Tyson as an example. We all know Mike Tyson is a beast, a savage man, especially when he couldn't control his inner side, right? And he bit Evander Holyfield's ear off, right?
Right.
The older he got, and the more, or because of his environment in which he come from, where he had to fight to live, to survive. He had to do some things that possibly in some people's minds, criminal activity is he's seen it as an act of survival, right?
Mm-hmm.
The older he got and the more experience he got with people, he began to be able to control the inner Hulk inside of him, um, which is very important when it comes to protection dogs in general. Um, we, we should be breeding for a balanced dog. You can have a very strong temperament dog, one that doesn't take no shit,
Mm-hmm.
but his willingness and his character has to be balanced with it. In order to do that, that's a breeding process. Um, that's why I like the ADRK. And I've always taken to the ADRK. It's been more than about confirmation. Their
Mhm.
their focus is on breeding the complete Rottweiler. A
Right.
complete Rottweiler is one that can do it all, right?
Right.
Not just on the working field, but one that can be around children and at the same time uh, be a thinking man's dog, not to hurt them. I have a female. Her name is Asia. Comes from some pretty tough lines. Gringo 3 times. Otzi
Mhm.
was a very stubborn, pushy dog. Um, to be honest with you, she's never been to the training field,
Mm.
never.
Mhm.
And because of my wife, when I first got her from the breeder, um, because I've been around different temperaments of dogs, and from a puppy, she was very aggressive and pushy, like balls and like to fight for balls and things. And but she comes from a different environment in Denmark where all dogs walk down the streets and stuff. They don't have what I say true protection dogs. If the environment wasn't brought up in a manner where, like in Germany, police dogs walking down the street with cages on their faces and stuff. That is not a part of their history, although they know about it because they're right there together. But I was concerned that she was walking Asia because I didn't want anything to one to cap what I was about to do with her, and at the same time, um, I know the people in the United States just like puppies and things, right?
Mhm.
And the older she got, she kept telling me, "Hey, I seen Asia. You ought to seen it. You don't believe this." She was playing with the kids, and one of the parents came up. I was like, "One of the parents came up. What are you talking about?" And I kind of got, worried. And I kept thinking, "What the hell? You're gonna get somebody bit or something?" Because she's always wanted to bite, right?
Yeah.
Not like a Malinois, but her first intentions, right?
Right.
But when I look back, I'm grateful because
Mhm.
I can take Asia to the park right now. And this is what I mean by showing and having character. I can take her to the park right now, and there could be a bunch of kids. She's all on the ground, running, playing with the balls and stuff, and the parents ain't paying attention. She has automatically taken a bond to these kids. She feels like she's supposed to protect these kids. I have no kids. She's the only introduction she's had to kids is what Luna did when she was young and taken around. If a
Mhm.
parent come up and is shocked, "Hey, what are you doing with that Rottweiler? Oh my God!" And let me tell you something. She fire right up because she don't know you,
Yeah.
and and I didn't teach her that.
Right. It's natural. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's natural.
Uh-huh.
Look, so you may be the mom and dad, but I don't know you. These kids mean no harm. We're having a good time, and I'm not interrupting that. And
Mhm.
then, which I found remarkable about her. Um, then one day we were sitting in our home, and I was sitting on an ottoman, and Luna was laying on the couch, and the door was like right there. And Asia's she's one of those that has always been had the rule of the house. Like right now, she's got the house to herself, right? I do move the other dogs in and out, but a man just walked in the house. It and when I say I ain't done nothing with her, I ain't done nothing with her. Instantaneously, she got him, and she was very serious about it to the point where she fell out the door, and my wife was screaming and hollering, "You get her, you get her!" But I'm from the country, right? You
Mhm.
lucky in the country. I'd have buried you, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
But I let her finish, and then I outed her. What was interesting is the police officers came, right?
Yeah.
And they were taking him away, the ambulance and everything, and he was in stretcher and stuff. She said she really wasn't. He's lucky she really wasn't serious with him. I said, y'all, she was just teaching him a lesson. And then he heard troll and seen troll, and he said, yeah, he's really lucky that one didn't get on him. I said, yeah, he's a little bit different dog than she is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's those examples that I've been around. The breed, I've seen dogs with Schutz and threes, and the guy had get the dog out, and he was going to show him. And I'm not going to mention the dog nor the guy, but some of the people I'm knowing that's been in it a long time were there and was prepared for shows on the East Coast. He was known, and I'll just say the kennel list blocks, right? Dasco, Caesar, and this was one of the dogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he got the dog out at the park, right? And he's walking the dog around, we're all looking because he was a nice looking dog too, but you can see a dog's demeanor.
Right.
How he carries himself. There are some that, that would appear to be docile, but there's some, their presence that have you shivering. And this dog was like that, right? But he was just a beautiful, magnificent sculpture of a dog. After he got ready, he took the dog up into the crate. Dog growled. I'm like, what the shit? Hey, he's had this dog for a while. What's the dog done this for, right? He told him again. But what I did notice is, since he had the dog, you got the dog, it's your dog, he didn't reach to grab him. He didn't push him.
Right.
And what he did was he started to walk the dog. The dog got what he wanted, basically, right? I'm not going back up in the crate. I seen him at the next show. A bunch of us seen him at the show. How'd it go? I thought he was going to come to dinner. Do you know he had to walk that dog to almost 3 o'clock in the morning? Yeah. And so we asked him, did you have to, no, he said he jumped right in. And he took him out of the show that day, right? So, when you start talking about character and temperament, I see it as, like you said earlier, the foundation, I see it as the mesh that holds it together. And we should consistently be working on it on a day-to-day basis, because when you breed correctly, these dogs they want to work. Mm-hmm. They born to work. They're not born to show.
Right.
Not born to put costumes on.
But even in the show part, back in the day, you probably, especially a man of your mentality, and probably what the mentality was back then compared to today, you guys probably had to be very careful at the shows with your dogs.
That's another thing that I see, and I'm glad that you said that, man. Yeah. I've been to ADRK shows, and all these people bunched up. So an alpha is an alpha. We still have to remember the pack mentality these dogs have, right? An alpha male is an alpha male. And a lot of times when these dogs that work, they're alpha dogs, right? Mm-hmm. So the owners knew to keep their distance, or there would be a dog fight. Right. And there would be a man fight too, right? Yeah. You understand? These people running up on the dogs today, not paying attention. Some of it's done intentionally to get your dog off track, et cetera, et cetera. And see, the thing about it is people are now saying that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
When in all actuality, it's supposed to be natural. Mm-hmm. Two men with testrones don't want to shower with each other.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
Two men with strong testosterone ain't gonna let you get too far with one another. They're gonna bump heads eventually.
Right.
That's one of the reasons that the temperaments were toned down. I come from an era where more dogs were imported from Germany than they are today. And you were closer to the dogs that had lines that were protection dogs, Schutzhund dogs, police dogs, dogs that protected the property. You were closer to that. Their genetic makeup was closer to that. So, and I'm going to say it, the wealthy were buying these dogs for prestige, trophy showcases and things. And they were eating people up.
Mm.
I'm telling you, they've even murdered children. See, people like to give that, oh, the AKC dog is a docile dog. Some top dogs and top pedigrees have killed people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Part killing people. A lot of times it's because of the pack mentality, right? One starts something, they all jump in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting to see the breed because back then the original Stafford wasn't the Stafford that you see today. If you're watching the shows carefully and and in my opinion you got real good judges, and you go to the terrier group, you'll notice, or go to the different terrier rings, you'll notice a quality that they have to have, and that's fight drive.
Right.
Take them to the middle of the ring, and they'll face them off. A lot of times the handler don't even know what the hell he's doing, but it's being done to make sure that he has the temperament. Yes, we're in here to show. You still got to have temperament. Excuse me, because you have to work.
Right.
It was kind of the same thing with the Rottweiler. The Rottweiler didn't always have a breed test. It was adopted. The Germans was using that. And the reason they adopted it is because the cities were getting more to how I want to say civilized, if that's where people were more people were everywhere as opposed to small towns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just couldn't walk down the street with cages anymore with your dogs and stuff. So the Germans shepherds were using this breed test, and this breed test is actually, I think, is the key if people really understood it, even if you didn't follow the paperwork, the method. When you're trying to produce the correct dog, you're not trying to produce a dog that just falls within the standard. The standard has a correct and ideal size,
Right.
a correct and ideal temperament, a correct and ideal eye color. And when you start to look at it before those things were implemented, meaning the standard,
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine people got together. You had, I posted on my Facebook page, the Romans and the dogs,
Yeah.
traveling with them.
Yeah.
And one of the things we discussed, I says, look at the terrain. The terrain was hilly, it had grass, it had rocks, it had a little everything. Therefore, the dog had to have a couple of things that was important. One, endurance, because we go back in history and we know that they traveled many miles at a trot. Okay,
Right.
going over that terrain, they had to have strong feet.
Mm-hmm.
Besides the confirmation things, the mental to push themselves on a long distance. I like to say, you have sprinters that run the 100, the 200, and they can run at full speed. But
Yeah.
then when you get to the 400, which is still a run, but you got to pace yourself, right? And a lot of people get to that last 100 meters and they hit that brick wall.
Right.
Instead, finish, have the mental to say, I can make it.
Mm-hmm.
Not only can I make it, I'm going to make it. A lot of them just pull up. Like I usually just pull up. No, man, I'm a 100-yard dash. I don't know what the hell you got to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Every dog has a breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're pushing for Malinois temperaments and Rottweilers. For what? For what?
Yeah.
The Malinois is built differently. He's supposed to act differently. His temperament's supposed to be differently, although they fall under the category of protection.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs, right? Family companions, right?
Right.
Um,
But let me ask you this, Terry, before you go on. Now, a lot of people have this confused because sometimes they mingle, they kind of intertwine the Rottweiler into the Mastiff family and some into the Herder family. Can you kind of break that down for us?
That's interesting that you say that. Because as I was describing earlier with the Rottweiler, right? So the Romans were traveling; they needed to eat, so they had to have good noses to hunt. They had to fight, so they had the ability to wrestle horses, wrestle men, the whole nine. They had to have long distance. Your farmers did the same thing. See, we think of farmers today on 100 acres and some nice flat land, right?
Right.
When we think of herding, we think of the corgi, the Australian Shepherd, the Border Collie, the ones that nip at the ankles, right? But back in the day when these dogs were herding, they were protection dogs as well. The herding part came in. Yes, it's kind of like you have a catch dog. The catch dog doesn't necessarily go in and do all the work of nipping and moving back when it's time to go to work and go in and tackle the animal in which they're after. He's ready and he's prepared. So in herding, the Rottweiler first objective was to protect the people and the herd. So they had to be built for that because of the terrain. They didn't just set up here for years. They were moving, migrating, right? So they would take the sheep and they would be migrating. You know what they encountered? Bears, cougars, thieves, right? They weren't the only, the little bitty dogs weren't the only ones putting a sheep back in its place, putting a cattle back in its place, because his job was to be able to watch the herd. You have dogs like Newfoundlands and some of these dogs, they sit up on high and watch because of the terrain, the territory then is wolves. So they can see the whole area, movement, while the sheep in the valley, right?
Right. Okay.
I don't know why they switched the breeds. Like, I'm very disappointed they switched the German Shepherd over to the herding group. He's a working dog.
Yeah.
I'm not saying herding is not a working dog, but most of your working dogs deal with protection, guardian type breeds when you look at them. Yeah.
Right.
Even the Saint Bernard, right? People see him as a big fluffy animal, right? That's not what they were. People should do their research on those dogs, right? The Chow is a fighting dog. That's a working dog.
Yeah.
So a lot of people look at that, even though they say that's abuse, I wouldn't do that. That's a form of work.
Right.
Pulling is a form, weight pulling. Well, that was the cart. That was the cart. Back in the day, they had the big old things. I don't know what they call them that they put the milk in. They couldn't use a donkey. They used a dog. So you had to be built correctly for that.
Right.
That's where I believe the character comes in.
Yeah.
Is the family.
Right. Right.
Being understanding who they are and where they fit within that family.
Right. And you always say something. This dog ain't for everybody. Not in a truest form that you represent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really isn't. The last podcast, a young man told a story about a guy that had these dogs that was in the junkyard. And I was looking at the comments and I was listening and I got to thinking that wasn't them dogs' fault. It was the owner's fault because he never fixed the environment where they could get out, right? But they were doing their job. At the end of the day, they did their job. That man was on that man's property.
Yeah.
They didn't know, right? That come from a guard dog. Yeah. See, people want to stay away from what they think a junkyard dog is, right? Let out at night, right? And you can't get in that junkyard, you're going to get ate up. And that's what the Rottweiler is when you start talking about the correct temperament and character.
Right. If you ain't supposed to be there, you're going to let
there are many of stories not just of them doing damage. And I'm again, I says, don't look. I'm not gonna give no names, but you want to text me, I'll show you the newspaper articles.
Yeah.
Okay. And when people say AKC dogs are a little bit more docile, it depends on the lines that you get. Um, in my opinion, touching on that working lines, there should never be no such thing.
It should be
One,
all circumference, the total dog. Yeah, a lot of people don't believe that. They either classify it working, show.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, what I discovered is that a lot of people would get into the show, right, and then they don't get that top confirmation dog, right, and they had contracts, and they still got contracts today that if you ain't gonna do it. Matter of fact, some of these people get a nice show dog, but part of their contract is they have to put a CDX, utility dog, titles, but they do it in the manner of, if I get a CD, if this person gets a CD on one of my puppies, I get 4 points toward my gold, my bronze. Listen, right?
Yeah.
And the dog ain't really working. See, I give due respect to the dogs that do the CDs, and the utility dogs that herd, but that ain't herding. That's conditioning. Even the sport of Schutzhund is conditioning.
Yeah.
It's a routine that is very difficult. Hats off and respect. Telling you, people really don't know how hard and the mental dedication it is to do Schutzhund, PSA, Mondo, any of those sports with the dogs, man.
A lot of dedication, a lot of practice every day.
Yes, yes. And to be honest with you, without the ramps, without the jumps, without the dumbbells, it's something that you should be doing working with your dog every day.
Mm-hmm.
Obedience.
Right.
Because they're for dogs, they're pack animals. They'll begin to see that you're weak in certain areas. They'll begin to see that they do something and you ignore it. Don't think they forgot. If you can put a new tree in the backyard and they've had 20 acres to run and you can go lock them up and they run immediately to that new tree in the yard.
Yeah.
They can they're very keen, they're very wise.
They are.
The reason I say it's not for everybody is because in my era and growing up in this breed, I heard of dogs being nervy. And you always had to listen to where that come from and how it was being bred. I can name some real popular dogs that's in everybody's bloodlines, but they never seen the dog in person and don't realize that dog had a nervy temperament.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand what skittish can lead to.
Right.
They don't know what skittish is. They don't even know that that's a part of the breeding. But the Germans consistently over and over, and it isn't just with the Rottweilers, it was the Doberman Pinschers, it was the German Shepherds, any of the boxers of that, because for work, character, and temperament was very important to them. It had to be that way. There are dogs that are man aggressive, but at the same time can go around children. When these things started happening and people were starting to get hurt, and it landed up on aggressive dogs, right? Dogs to be aware of.
Right.
It was a shameful thing for the breed because I just believe that people didn't understand the breed. You coming up, I had a female. Her name was Daniela Van Haas Newbrand. She was out of a male by the name of Willie Van Haas Newbrand. When she was in my house, it was like she was walking around the kids and we had a bunch of glass, right? But when I would take her outside, and you was around her, you swore she was King Kong. I had people say, "Hey man, that dog don't look bigger than she did on the inside of the house." That's because she puffed up and she was swollen. She was always alert and she was watching. My dad probably got bit, and I mean, me and him had some arguments, right? Because he didn't know about the Rottweiler. He knew about country dogs, but he didn't know nothing about the Rottweiler. Because sometimes he would just walk in the house and his grandbaby's up there, and he go to pick up the grandbaby. Hear Daniela coming, pow 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 pow. God damn it, Terry! No, God damn it, Daddy! Didn't I tell you don't just be coming up in the house? You're a stranger. You don't live here.
Yeah.
They're familiar with you. But the baby come running and seeing you and hollering. When she come around there, she's happy to ecstatic to see you. She sees you as a stranger, you getting bit.
Yeah.
I had another female that I found very interesting, man. And this was to me, this was character too. I could take her out of my house, out of her kennel, and let her in the backyard. You know what she would do?
What's that?
Before she did anything, she would turn, and it never failed. It didn't care where we was at or whatever. She would turn to the north, bark, scratch up some dirt, turn to the west, scratch up some dirt, turn to the south, scratch up some dirt, turn to the east, scratch up some dirt, bark, let everybody know she was there, and then she go about her business.
Grand interest. Yeah.
Letting people know I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the baddest thing out here right now.
Yeah.
Do not come in this yard. Please don't come in this yard.
Right.
And
Right.
you know that, right?
Right.
I come from a time when these dogs were dealt with in a manner in which I would say was almost abusive because they didn't know the dog.
Right.
They were good trainers. I heard people talk about and seen it hanging well-known dogs to they crap.
Mm-hmm.
They, hang them to they crap.
Yeah.
You know, turn around and see that same dog go to a different owner. Guy never had a problem out of him.
Yeah.
Character is interesting because they're always evolving. Every day the dog is, right?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with your brute will to bite somebody, your brute will to go over a building. They're a thinking man's dog.
Right.
And the reason I always say that they're not for everybody because everybody's not willing to put the time in to train them properly.
Mm-hmm.
Like you train a kid, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter if he's a strong-willed dog or human being. You have to work with that dog on a continuous basis. It's an endless job. Again, because I know I've seen it, done it. The people who do. I don't even like hearing a person that just shows, even debate the work that people who do true work with their dogs. It pisses me off. I can't believe you just take some bait, right? You take some bait, put it in his dog, in his face to try to get him done. Y'all act like y'all done something.
Yeah.
You ain't done nothing.
Right.
Getting up every morning. And I'm putting aside the competition part of it.
Right.
I'm putting just the normal person who comes out 3-4 times a week, works his dog, learns the sport, they're some hell of a people. And them are some hell of a dogs. Because that's an everyday thing. That's a routine. That's a practice again. Once you get to this point, let's make sure it's damn near perfect. So we're gonna continue. And once you get close, then we'll move to the next step. The problem that I have with it today, though, is that everybody that's doing the sport don't want to be a trainer. They want to be a competition person.
Oh, yeah. You want to be a competitor. Yeah.
Yeah. So therefore, a lot of people that just want to do the sport um, complete the course.
Right.
They're pushed away from it when they get the knowledge is lost. I was fortunate to see that some hell of a trainers. A lot of them don't do Rottweilers no more, or should I say own them. Dean Calderon, Alpha Hamburger Michael, Efferman Hamburger Michael, Evie and Manson them had some wonderful working dogs. Gary Van Grudenblick, Ambos, Jenny, Julie Van Superdistro. The ones I honestly do respect in the breed, though, women.
I wouldn't doubt that. We got some women in the Corso that's kicking ass. I'll say their name. I see Marisha Stewart. I know she works them. What's my lady name from Ivy League? Sharon Central. It is a lot of women, and I wish they would come on and holler at us. But it is a lot of women kicking ass in these dogs, brother.
Yeah. Voice has a lot to do with it. I put it in the category of body language, right?
Okay.
They're willing to do more for that woman. The man will try to force him.
Yeah.
She'll try to think with him.
I 100%. My dogs. I think my wife, when it comes to training these, working with these dogs right here, they answer a little bit better to her. You know what I mean?
The voice.
Yeah.
The voice. You know, you can only scream so loud at a dog. When you need it really to be known, how do you get louder than loud? Knock it off.
Yeah.
Foos. Foos. When you really need it, here comes right down the bite.
Right.
Here, there ain't no cars coming around. He comes on a roof call. Here, there's a car coming. Guess where you going? Don't you see that snake? No, I got you. I seen the snake. Here, right? So I think the voice has a lot to do with it when it comes to women. Their touch.
Yeah. Nurture. Yeah.
Yeah. And they see that in them. Whereas, like I said, the men, I know some people are probably going to trip. Jane Mitchell-Moore. I watched her in the USRC. While other men talked about it, she was about it. She's still about it today. We may not see eye to eye, but I respect her more than she knows. She's constantly feeding people information. Whereas there's some people that sit in the back that are men that ain't about it.
Yeah.
In our breed.
Right.
They talking, right? They've owned some dogs, they've imported some dogs and things, but she's one of the women that I respect because she is dedicated. I know sometimes, I mean, Jane got a lot of shit going on, man.
Yeah.
And I will say I'm telling you, man, she's dedicated. Before Jane Hobson became a professional handler, she had a dog by the name of Sheeta Banotacon. I seen Jane Hobson work some dogs. She knew dogs. Evie Manson knows dogs. And I can tell you this, to do the sport, you don't necessarily have to be a helper to know the dogs, to read the dogs. I seen it with my own two eyes. How they did it, why they did it, I don't know if it's because they had been around for a long time. But I knew a guy, he was about he looked like a giant, about 6'7", 6'8". He came to Gary and Carol Patterson's place more than once. And he had this little, looked like she was about 4'7", but she was probably about 5'1", 4'2" with the Jones brothers. And she was with them. They trained with, they would show up sometimes at the Manson's place, right? but I never seen him handle the dog. But he knew dogs. He could breed a dog. I think the problem with even show people, they're just out there. They're not reading the dog. So this breed is a prey breed. Most protection dogs have higher prey than a lot of other dogs, right?
Mhm.
That prey can be used to play. They use it, the jolly balls and things of that nature,
Right.
to show.
Right.
But a lot of them don't know what they're doing.
Right.
They set that puppy off young, ain't been
Mhm.
around the kids. You building
Mhm.
prey.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Man, I want to get into a final topic. You know, I get in trouble all the time for stuff I say. And
No, you do.
I've been I've been saying like I've been kind of iterating it like this, like as far as the import stuff. I don't think that I think it's something that novices shouldn't do. I think is I don't know what's going on, but I'm hearing a lot of people getting burnt right now. But I know how you feel about the German Rottweiler. What is your thought on the imported dogs in your breed versus America as a whole?
Um,
Don't get in trouble.
Let me tell you something. I don't mind it now. I'm not
Yeah,
in it.
yeah,
I'm not in it like that. I'm in it for
yeah.
the breed. I'm giving
Right.
back to the breed.
Yes, sir.
Um, when I was importing dogs from Serbia, it was Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Um, when I went to Yugoslavia, I seen dogs in big runs, older dogs,
Right.
um, well-known dogs in areas where there was youth dogs and some puppies, and they throw the dog food over, right? As I began to get to meet the people, you realize, no, it wasn't a third world country, but it was a struggling country. So as time went on, you do have some still wealthy people in every country, regardless if it's called third world country. That's politics, and that's a different subject. So as time went on, um, and they separated, um, I'm not saying that they didn't have the temperament or character. It just didn't. It didn't. It didn't matter. They were trying to eat,
Yeah.
and I'm not putting them in a bad position. I'm not talking down about them. But when you're on survival mode and you see an opportunity to breed some dogs because people are not willing to come and look at them, um, check out the documentation, um, you'll do it. And they were doing it. Facts. I got proof.
Mm.
Um, Things I can show you, tangible. You can touch it,
Right.
right? Then there came a time when the fake is the fake. You cannot get an IPO title without a BH. Facts.
Right.
That's something you can touch.
Right. Right.
It's understandable, and they were getting away with it.
Fake titles. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing it today, but because the people in the United States, yeah, you can look around. Yeah, the people in the United States are accepting it because they're about winning.
Mm.
Um, I see dogs that shouldn't be passing the ZTP. They pass it in their country. Their engagement. They're coming off of sleeves. They don't have full bites. Um, the difference in what they're doing and what the Germans have always done is the Germans, in my opinion, have always cared about the complete dog.
Right.
They use the system to benefit them to breed as close to the correct ideal dog. You'll see Rottweilers that maybe not are pleasing to the eye, but they work. That's the number one thing. And the body needs to be such that it's able to do the work. What I have seen is that we have people that want to do competitions and want to change the look and the character and temperament so much that it looks like a totally different breed and acts like a totally different breed.
Wow.
But yeah, it's still able to accomplish the ZTP.
Okay.
Because it's not what within the standard. Well, what do you mean? He has a 1A eye. He has black mouth pigment. He has large carried ears. He has strong paws. He has a good forechest, but he lacks bone. He lacks substance. He has a tuck, which he's not supposed to have. Slightly tuck is okay. You're working out. You're doing it.
Yeah.
But to have his flanks tucked up like a Great Dane is incorrect.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
That's the standard. That's not me talking.
Right.
And so it's led to the competition guys saying that there are working lines. And then you have the competition and show folks, show lines, when they're supposed to be one and the same. The beauty comes in when the dog works like it's supposed to work and looks like it's supposed to look, so it can perform.
Right.
People ask me, what is breed type? It's the description. The Rottweiler is a medium, large, compact build male, loyal family dog. Those are key words. Loyal family dog.
Yeah.
Not loyal world dog. Loyal family dog. That's a key word when you're talking about protection guard dog, right? Social is being able to get through the fireworks, walk through a crowd, nobody touch him. He doesn't flinch. He's not skittish. He walks through with confidence.
Courage.
Courage. Yep. Walking through. And these things are on the ZTP. It speaks about them. They're at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's the most. It's kind of funny because that's at the bottom of the test of the paperwork. Yet it's the most important part of the test.
Right.
So when you start talking about importing and people getting got, they're playing on these things. There's only 2 registered veterinarians in Serbia. ADRK registered. People will still go ahead and buy from the normal vet tech, from somebody that signed off. Get the dog here. Take the dog in. It was A and 0. Matter of fact, you ain't got the dog for 90 days. Keep limping. You take him in. What fault is that?
Yeah, fake health.
Research.
Yeah.
Your research. You know that, and I've been preaching it. Dennis Novak is one of them, right? So why would you go and even attempt to think about getting hips from somebody else when you've been told? When importing dogs, I'm telling you, Americans are funny, boy.
Why is that?
Because they're not gods. The people is ordinary people. They got a husband and a wife. They work just like us.
Right.
Because we are a type of people, we gonna buy what we want. I take your $50,000 too.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You ain't even ask me how much I want for the goddamn dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit, I was gonna sell him. I only want maybe $8,000. I'm fine. That give me back my food, right?
Mm-hmm.
That opened the door to some things that even I can say that I got. I can tell you when I got back in, there's a breeder in Serbia right now that he thinks I'm done with him.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Yeah.
I just haven't put myself in a position to truly go after him. But I've lost almost $12,000-$15,000, and I had a partner with me helping me out. When
Dang.
people I'm screwed, right? I
Yeah.
thought, okay, when I got back into breeding, 4.5, after being out for 12 years, because of when I left, people were paying astronomical numbers for good, solid Rottweilers. I thought that everybody was doing it. So I seen a full German breeding, male and female. And when I say male, I'm talking about the breeding, I'm talking about the blood. And I first started looking at one particular dog because I liked the background of the pedigree of the dog, which was a half brother, half sister sibling. There's a half breeding, right? Half
Yeah.
sibling. And you'll discover if you look into my program, I believe in that big
Yeah.
time.
Right.
And so I ventured in on it, kept sending money. I still hadn't quietly gotten over my sickness. I got sick a couple of times. I didn't know that Western Union and the banks, the Western Union is actually in the bank.
Mm.
Are you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of people are wiring money to the bank, and a lot of people are using Western Union and these other things. It's in their bank. It's one and the same.
Yeah.
So you can get fooled just to manipulate it on that. Well, I didn't get it from Western Union. What do you mean? Western Union is your bank.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Yeah.
following what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you say you didn't get it from Western Union, it's in your bank.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And that went on. And right now, today, I still have to take care of some stuff with some people that was wanting puppies out of that litter. But
Yeah.
I ain't got him.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
watching, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to warn people as much as I can. There are some good breeders in Serbia, just like they are everywhere. Serbia and Bosnia, I will say that. But they're in the back. They're not the ones that you're talking about up front.
Right.
Um,
I get it. Yeah.
yeah, because they
Yeah.
don't have the money to promote their dogs. They don't have the money to do the things with their dogs. But I can tell you there are some hell of a breeders. But one thing that is consistent that I will tell you, the majority of the dogs that come from there, they don't have the correct temperament.
Mm.
They
Right.
don't. They are floating through, right? Because they've gotten a little bit more lenient on things like the breed tests and things like that. They're floating through, and trust me, some of them still don't have breed tests, and they're here in America.
Mm.
Paperwork, but you tell
Right.
them six, right? He look at you like you dumb as hell. You tell them five.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's part of their business. The sad part is America know it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
people that are buying them, there are people that are buying them and won't say anything about they took the dog in for the hip x-rays and they don't line up. They play on on that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
C don't allow that. You bring your dog over here, if you want to be in this club, you're gonna redo every goddamn thing. Period.
Right.
The
Yeah.
reason I know that it's being done because you're talking to a guy that started off the DNA testing. Yeah.
Mm. Okay.
Uh, there were some kennels there, Rottweiler Barmer, Nicky Rott, and I can go on. Bless his soul, Joe Heddle had came to do a specialty here, and there was a young man by the name of Ruben Lorenzo, and I was going through a divorce at the time, and I wasn't at the show, and he was asking people. Well, at that time, the tail had started to come into play. The law had been passed over there. They had already changed the standard, and people were down talking him. Oh, what is that? You got to tail, because The AKC people can't change. I get it. It's something we all seen. I seen the tail as two prominent breeders, and they said it was an accident. I stood there, and we were headed to the Medallion Rottweiler specialty, and we caravan. Okay, and me and a good friend of mine, we had some good times. Jeff Howard. I was standing there, and he was like, "Hey, man, why the hell you just keep?" I said, "Do you see this thing?" You understand? 2 years later, I said, "Fuck that. If this is what the standard says, this is what the standard says." Today, there are ARC Rottweiler judges that claimed they've been promoting the tail. It's all as they say, it's all public knowledge. You got the write-ups, who was signing the petitions to keep it out of there, and now that you involved. So Joe Hill told him to contact me, and Joe Hill gave him my phone number, and he contacted me, and I eventually went to go see some of his dogs. And the president of the Serbian club at the time, I was even dealing with him. He had access to a lot of dogs. He had a dog that did very well at the Klubsik Seeger show named Xavier Van Haasrampel. One day he had some dogs he had imported, and I told him, I said, "That's not the same dog, bro." He said, "Yeah. And I picked the dog apart from the pictures. The dog you got muddy markings. Not one picture. Those dogs, right? And he had done it for a couple of people. The last couple of dogs he got were outlandish. You knew they were dogs, right?
Yeah.
So what he did was it was kind of funny to me because I didn't know he was just going to go that far in detail with it, but I had his back because it was the truth. I was his kennel help. I'm showing his dogs. He made a website, man. He copied Rottweiler Bomber's entire website, the music and everything. And he put the two dogs up, right? And we started complaining to the AKC. It's on documentation.
Yeah.
The people was getting dogs and they was fake. And then finally the AKC implemented the DNA testing. That's me.
Yeah.
So I don't give a damn if Serbia mad at me. I don't give a damn if Germany mad at me. This man was paying big money.
Yeah.
Them dogs was fake. I got a couple other dogs, right? Me and a young lady went all the way up. I was living in Washington. We went up there one time, and this bitch was all world supposedly with titles and things, right? All world, bro. Supposed to have temperament and everything. And we had already had a couple of dogs that we had brought in, and if you're expecting something and it ain't, okay, the first time, all right. The second time, now it's getting serious. So the third time, we didn't even stop. So we had like a 2.5 drive back to the kennel. We didn't even stop. We just wanted to get back to the kennel. Man, we pulled in, backed in, dude, about 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
Do you know it was damn near daylight before we could get her in the kennel? She didn't know what here meant. She didn't know what sit meant. She didn't know what plots meant. She didn't know what shit meant.
Damn.
I had to trigger into the kennel. I owned a youth Seagrin, and I'm telling you, she was out of Bronco DeDrakia's mama, Lola, and Ramsey Crenny Lotus. Her temperament was horrible. She can chase. She had outstanding prey drive. She could catch a bird. But boy, you cut her feet. She hear a shotgun blast. Boy, you better have it. You better have it deleted.
Yeah.
They've gotten better. I will say this. They have gotten some people that took the time to go to Germany to learn how to train. But you can't possibly obtain what Klaus has, the knowledge he has in 10 years. You're a liar.
Yeah.
This man, look, man, Klaus is the Rottweiler whisperer, and it's no disrespect for nobody else. He's got some dogs that he's had, just had some very strong temperaments. Their disposition was strong, meaning not only look tough, act tough, and knew that they could do some damage, right? Klaus, you wouldn't even know that dog was that way. Come to the protection field, got an off switch. That's part of breeding. And character and temperament is part of breeding. It's a genetic foundation. It's rooted in the blood. You just can't make a dog do something.
Right.
It's bred to do something.
Right.
And, the Serbs have gotten away from it. Not gotten away from it. They're getting better in it. But why would you change something that's working?
Right. Right.
My grandpapa, my dad used to say, you see a fool, you thump him on the back of the head. It's up to the fool to move his head. The Americans need to wake up. And those that don't know and need to wake up. And those that do know, you need to stop being a fraud.
Right.
You know your dog ain't got no temperament. You know you paid for a fake title. You know you paid for the confirmation title. What do you mean you pay for the confirmation title? There's shows that there's some big shows over here, and then there's some shows over here that got 3-4 dogs in it. You win a Seeger. You win the most beautiful in the show. Those type of things are hurting. So I would really build a relationship with reputable breeders, no matter where you're going in the world.
True.
Just don't trust.
Right.
That's what I would do. That's what I've always done. I get my dogs mostly from people that I can sit down at the dinner table with. I'm not going to mention their names, but I got a German couple that came and seen us. We lost a baby, and they came and seen us, right? Our relationship. They'll tell you, not that dog, this dog. But if you come up in there and you offer $100,000, are you turning it down?
No.
The dog might not even been for sale, bro.
Yeah.
The dog might not even been for sale, but because you took a few pictures of them at the show, right? So they're not all like that, but the majority, I would say so, and it's different in Germany. Man, I've been a little bit disappointed because they went from the Schutzhund to the VPG and now to the IBG. And eventually, it won't be no more in Germany. They're starting to do some things. Yeah. They're starting to do some things that you can't do the things that you used to do. There are provinces that don't even allow Rottweilers in Germany today.
Wow.
Yeah. Stick hits.
Yep.
All these things. They're gonna, you can't test the dog. And that's what they are. It's a test. You're testing his trackability, his fight drives. You're testing all these things. So not so that you can have that ultimate dog, so that you can help strengthen the gene pool, because when you have documentation, you need this, and you can go over here and you can separate the dogs that don't have it or have too much of it, and you need just this one. You can separate those dogs and you can make a determination instead of out of 100 dogs, out of 3 to 5 dogs.
Right.
You can do it a little better. People just don't. If you don't research a pedigree, how are you going to research a breeder?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I just talked to a gentleman last night, and he was talking about his dogs, right? And you know what he said to me? He said, I said, well, I don't like this dog. I don't like this dog. So I asked him, let me see the pedigree. Then I asked him, let me see the female. And so what I did was, I don't mind saying his name because I don't give a fuck about him. Dr. Temperament, right?
Yeah.
Everybody in the internet know what's up.
Mm.
Gave him the video, right? Oh man, that dog is ugly. I wouldn't have one of them dogs. Okay, I put up another dog. Eminem and Hanselstein. Yeah, I know people getting pissed right now, want to just punch me because you can't. You cussing me through this, but you ain't gonna put your hands on me. Showed him that dog. Man, isn't that dog? I said, do you know that you got him in your pedigree? He said, what? I showed him his pedigree. He hadn't even looked at his pedigree.
Yeah.
Not only did he have doctor twice, doctor's brother had Diablo, there was a female out of Diablo that was bred to doctor. They took that dog and bred to a female and said, what you think you're going to get when you're asking me about your genetics? If you don't like the dogs and they're in your pedigree and you didn't know they was in your pedigree, what do you need to do? You don't ask me. It's right there.
Right.
We're not studying. We're not going into details. We haven't. Next time I do a show, I'm going to show you what a core book look like. I got probably 30 of them for 30 years straight.
Really? Okay.
It's documentation.
Right.
Now they have the database. The database gives numbers on hips, elbows, character, temperament, things that, it's a little bit different. But back in the day, they had core books. Back in the day, they had such things as different paperwork too. Pink paper being the highest, right? All the dogs, parents going all the way back so many generations had the Korung. I come from an area where people would say, breed to the core dog. Well, why you breed to the core dog? Because it's proven. A winner isn't proven. But see, you get the ZTP, which allows you to breed. You're able to breed for so many years. You get so many dogs to you only get 2 chances to pass the ZTP. If you don't pass it the second time, you're done. You can't breed.
Okay.
You only get to breed so many times.
Right.
Then there's another test, which is called the Korung. Your dog needs to have more titles: Schutzhund 3, IPO 3, FH2, AD. If you'll notice today, you don't even see any dogs with the AD. These are the small things, and I'm like, come on, Germany.
Yeah.
You still do it. Don't worry about Americans. Don't worry about Russians. Don't worry about Serbia. Continue to do it. It's not seen that often anymore. And they're great dogs. So when you've seen these dogs, by the time they're 4, because you had to wait 2 years, by the time they're 4, you had 2-year-old dogs who passed the ZTP, who had been proofed in the shows, who had been proofed on the working field. And those dogs get a certain amount of breedings a year. And then you have the next step, which is 2 years down the road again. And it's called the lifetime Korung. Now, not only is the test that you've passed in the Korung, they're looking for a little bit more because you've matured mentally and physically, right?
Right.
Looking to see if you produce dogs that have the Korung. Then you pass. They know that you have it. We don't know nothing about that.
Wow. Yeah.
We don't say that. We say breed to the winner.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, and I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up here. In the Borbo, they have a evaluation called the what is it called? You remember how they evaluate their dogs?
Not the Borbos, but I do know they have different countries have different
appraisals. That's what they're called.
Oh yes, I know about their appraisals. Yeah, where they bring the dog.
Have you ever seen anything like that within other breeds that can beat the Seeger system? I don't know if I have.
There's all types of breed tests.
Okay.
Like they have the MAG test.
Right.
The MAG test for Rottweilers and German Shepherds and other tests, there's no bite workings associated with those. But guess what? It's kind of interesting that how each country does things, right? Because they have a ghost. It looks like a ghost that comes out Well, right away, your Rottweiler got suspicion, right?
Yeah.
The dog's not even supposed to give no reaction to that ghost.
Really?
And that ghost is coming and moving, right? So there's different tests. I think when you're talking about matching the Borbal up with the ZTP and the Korung, the deeper you get into the chest, that's more like the appraisals there are for the Borbals, right?
Okay.
Because it is a valuation like no other.
Right.
I've seen dogs fail the Korung too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can't breed no more.
Wow. Ooh.
We breeding dogs with missing teeth.
Yep.
We don't take it serious enough.
But let me ask you this: isn't it allowed a certain amount of teeth to be missing in working breeds when you're judging them?
Who told you that?
I thought it was. I read it in a
No, I'm just
standard.
playing, man. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
AKC used to allow 2, they allow 1.
Just
right?
one. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Now you got some breeders that follow it. You got some breeders that don't. Just like you got some breeders that'll fix a bite.
Wait. Say that again.
You heard me.
That'll fix the bite. What you mean? How
They'll
to fix
the bite. It's
Okay.
level.
Right.
You actually got vets that'll go in and make it a scissors bite.
Oh, I didn't know. God, dog, this game is crazy.
I know of people that run around here and had bloodlines from dogs that put rubber bands on it on the teeth.
Yeah.
They're like braces. Yeah. Everything is done, bro.
Oh man, we need to do a show called Dirty Little Secrets.
I know of dogs that have left with one nut.
Yeah.
One nut.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Come back with 2. Yeah, I can laugh about it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know of dogs that are some of the top and go down in history. These are dogs. He sucks his nut up. I know of best in show dogs that I've had my hands on. Best in specialty dogs. Bad bites. Sorry, handlers. Y'all can get pissed off all you want to. I used to be in your fraternity, and I didn't like it at the time. And I'm kind of glad I made some bad choices and kind of moved on from that situation. But the integrity, we always want to point to personal issues that people have in their lives and stuff to stop that knowledgeable person from opening their mouth, right?
Yeah, and dogs, it's unfortunate that that's the go-to.
Yeah.
Making personal, getting people personal life. Oh, I remember you did this, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. But what did I do with the dogs?
Yeah.
What am I breeding in the dogs?
Uh-huh.
Who cares if you found out that I'm screwing around on my wife or my husband? Who cares if you found out what am I doing with the dogs? And that's the problem, right? Click set up and they set up and they're out to stop you from giving knowledge or their secrets out. And I'm not doing this as a thing. As you notice, I'm not mentioning nobody's
names. Yeah,
individual's name.
Right.
They know who they are. I'm just wanting them to possibly wake up like I have. The Rottweiler is a great breed. It's an all around the world type breed. It's not for everybody, granted, yes, but it's so many things that the dog and I appreciate, like dock diving for the Rottweiler. I don't know how you do it. Now you teach them to do it. Hats off.
Yeah.
I've done some herding. Went out to see some herding. Damn, man, what the hell? I'm only from the protection aspect of this type of thing.
Right.
Carting now.
Yeah.
So carting. See, back in the day, they were just pulling shit to a destination. These dogs is going, backing up, parking like a human.
Yeah.
So the Rottweiler is capable of doing all those things, but what he was designed for was a protection, family protection, guardian dog.
Yes, sir.
And I think it should stay there.
Right.
Yeah. I would like to see the old days when you're in the Garbation class and dogs are 30 feet apart from one another. They're not even thinking about walking up, sniffing his butt. Turn around and kiss him in the face.
Yeah.
That right there shows you a lot about the dog. And they call it he's socialized. That's a lie.
Right. Yeah.
He's not. He doesn't have the temperament. He's
Right.
supposed to. The male dogs are supposed to be alpha dogs.
Yeah.
You have, and you also have female alpha bitches, right?
Yes, you do.
Because they know to get bred if they were in the wild, right?
Right. Right. Yeah.
It's got jobs to do.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and that is affecting the breed mentally and with its character and temperament too.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually taken the responsibility of a bitch whelping a litter, and she gave it to us. She'll give it to us.
That's true.
And turn it into a genetic thing.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Uh-huh. Doing too much. Yeah.
We doing too much. Yeah.
Yeah, we doing too much. Yeah. Yeah.
You're adding too much to it, man.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Terry, you giving enough, bro. And I appreciate you. Great conversation. Y'all, this pretty much how I go whenever I talk to them. If I talk to men like this, and I want you to take note, just shut up and listen. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Just be quiet. When you got these type men and women in front of you, and they take time to share things with you from here on the phone, let them talk. Let them talk. This is a rarity. This is something new that we ain't been getting, and who it benefits the people because it's helping people, but it's even better for the dogs.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Right.
That's the difference today, Brother Joe.
Yes, sir.
We worried about us, whether we shooting a dog or we making money off the dog.
Right.
The dog. It's about the dog, and we're supposed to incorporate together those who have wisdom. I never stop learning, bro.
Nah, it's impossible. Yeah.
Look, it don't matter who contact me or who you contact. People tell you, man, that dude's just in a book.
Yeah.
I'm in the book. The book, learning about genetics and DNA.
Right. It's stuff you done told me over the phone that I know this audience never heard of before. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
But you do consultations, right?
Yes, I do consultations. Okay. I want to tell you, I thank you. People have asked me, man, to do books quite a bit. People don't know this, but years ago, and I started a magazine, and I was going through the separation. I didn't patent the magazine, and if people want to see it, just DM me, show you it. I didn't patent it, and somebody in California wound up buying the magazine. Years later, I was with a guy named D, and we were driving, and I said, "You see that place right there? That's the publishing company that robbed me and stole it." He said, "That publishing company?" I said, "Yeah, that one right there, man. What are you talking about?" My uncle used to own that. Right away, I said, "Your uncle?" Because I felt like I got robbed, right? He said, "Man, don't get me, man. Don't get me," because I got mad. But I do consultations and I break things down, and I can give you facts. Like I'm giving you some now. I just don't mention names because there's no need to. I just want people to be aware that it's being done for real.
Right. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the dogs, man. It's about the dogs.
That's what's up. Well, Terry, thank you again. And man, we appreciate everything. I know you be hovering over. and this is great, guys, because I do got a little pressure on me by a few breeders of old. Like, man, come on, somebody got to help us get this right. Be careful what you say. Wait, you know what I'm saying? So it got to be some checks and balances, but I embrace it. So because that's all I care about is putting out better information and people getting connected to real people in the world that's really about it. You know what I mean? So
yes, sir.
All right, Terry. All right, man. Until
All
the next time, brother.
God bless.
Likewise.
All right.
And he will.
Amen.
Hey guys, here's a natural daily canine supplement I wanted to tell you about. It's New Vet Plus. Strengthens the immune system, promotes healthy skin and coat, supports healthy eyes and ears, is safe for all pets of all ages, and it maximizes the quality of life. Use my code 902-828. Follow. Hey guys, if you need raw dog food anywhere in the United States, be sure to visit our friends over at TexasTripe.com.
Welcome to NWA Cane Corso's podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
Hey, brother Terry Cornish, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing, brother?
Man, I am great. First off, I just like to thank you for being a great teacher, a great brother that don't normally come on screen or on audio, but a lot of things that's out there, especially through my channel, might have came through you in some way or another. But I wanted to get your just a little piece of you on your journey. I know you have showed for Bill Cosby, Elizabeth Taylor, and I know your dog that you love so dearly is the Rottweiler. So I just want you to share a little bit about your experiences in the ring and why it is so important, the ring, to you.
Oh, wow. Great question, brother. Let me tell you, I started out about my first Rottweiler in 85. I didn't even know that there was a such thing as a show dog. I'm a country boy. I'm from the country. We knew about horses, Gene Autry and them. You know, we know about show cattle, sheep, pigs. You know, but that was to help kids get scholarships so they could go to school. And so my first journey towards, and I didn't even know I was going that route when I bought her. She was a Santo Vanswager Wappen daughter. So he's in history books for producing some of the most top dogs. I didn't even know what I had. I just knew that I wanted a Rottweiler. And so when I went off to college in California, while I was there, because I'd been around a lot of, in the country, people fight dogs, and everybody has some old mutt they think is tough and things like that. But I seen a guy at a park by the name of Eckhart Selquist, and he's well known. His kennel name is Genix Rottweilers. And I would see him do bite work, but also seen him practice show. But I didn't know what that was, right? So I just took it in stride, met him, got lots of great information from him about the breed. I eventually came back to Colorado, and I got married, and we moved to Oklahoma. And I decided to get me a Rottweiler. And at that time, one of the top Rottweilers in the country was a dog by the name of Cannon River Oil Tanker. And I was working, and so I had a little bit more experience on knowing what champion Rottweilers were and show dogs were and stuff. So I went to this guy, his name was Terry as well. And he had a litter. His male's name was Haas, and his father was Cannon River Oil Tanker, and I got a male from that. And they was telling me all kinds of stuff about going to confirmation classes, because confirmation classes is where you learn how to stack dogs. You don't learn too much about the confirmation, even though you're talking about it, but it's more based on the shows. And the particular people, rest in peace, that took me under their wings was a man and a woman named Jerry and Bonnie Kilman. And we began to talk, and they used to tell me, hey, I don't know if you know this, but the dogs just love you. You got a talent. You can do this. And I just would look at them like, because it really wasn't nothing, but I always knew that, when they would hand me a dog, the dog just responded to me. And so I started, me and my ex-wife, we would go over to their house, and we would work dogs in front of the mirror, because I was trying to get my own dog ready, for them to possibly show, because I didn't think I was getting in the dang ring. And finally, and I would stay over there. Sometimes I'd stay to 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning and go straight from there, shower from there, drop my wife off, my kids, and go to work and pick them up and go back. And that happened for like about 4 or 5 months. And finally, he says, man, you ready for the shows? And I'll never forget it. I said, I didn't think nothing of it, but I went. And in my first show, I took first place, and I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty good and stuff like that. And he comes up to me afterwards, he says, and they bred Australian shepherds. And Australian cattle dogs. Okay. And the guy comes up to me at the show, and he says, hey, I need for you to take my multi-best of breed, best of group. I said, I can't do that, man. What are you talking about? He says, you work with him. I know you'll do just fine. So I'm trembling, go in the ring, and I get a group 2, right? That experience was wild for me. It was like when I used to play football and basketball, shoot the last shot or throw a winning game touchdown. And I knew then that that this is what I wanted to do. So I began to continue to practice. And one time we came here back to Colorado, and at that time the Mile High Rottweiler Club was beginning to build to get their B matches and their A matches to become a club. And at that time I had bought another dog. He was out of the #1 dog in the country, Nelson Van Hap Brabant Park, and his mother was the #1 bitch, Ironwood's Candace Citizen. And took the dog in the ring, first show, took a 5-point major, went home. Nobody really talked to me or nothing. They congratulated me, but I got a phone call from a lady by the name of Karen Kubiak. And Karen Kubiak said, I guess they thought I was a professional handler at that time, and I wasn't yet. I had did some apprenticeships under the late, great Dick McKinney. I had met John Smith and done some training with them, but I wasn't a professional handler yet. And from there, they asked me if I would show a female that was out of a dog that I had seen already. And I went back to Jerry and Bonnie Kilman, and I told them, I said, now that's the Rottweiler. His name was Krugerrand. And they asked me if I would show the female. And I told them yes, but I need to see the female. And when I seen the female, I felt like I'd had enough German experience that I thought she was slightly underweight. And the owner of the dog was a lady by the name Joan Parks, and she listened to everything that I said. And I had gotten some confidence in myself in sports. And so she said, we just want a couple of best. So I said, no, we're not going for best. We're going for breed. And I went into the show with her. I'll never forget it. And
when I went around the ring, a lady actually literally tried to trip me in the ring, but I kept my balance and we wound up winning the breed.
Wow.
And I remember then, it was kind of like reflexes. I seen the leg come out. I moved over the leg, went, did my turn to present her. But I remember not hearing nothing. And I didn't know where that came from until I began to show her. And I'm one of those, even today, I'm kind of like Jamie Foxx in that movie. I throw up before I go into the ring, whether it's a Caesar show, AKC show, it don't make no difference.
Right.
Once I throw up, I'm fine.
Yes.
But one of the things I loved about showing dogs is that there's a unique spiritual thing between you and the dog. I don't know if many people that handle understand it.
It's okay, bro.
But when I show a dog, I can block everything out. I hear nothing. I've been in the Westminster and done it several times. I've been in specialty shows all over the United States. And every time I step into the ring, I hear nothing. I see nothing. But I can hear the dog breathe.
Wow.
And not only can I hear the dog breathe, when we go to move, and there's been many times that I know because I'm in the breed class that people are screaming and clapping and everything. I can't even hear them. But what I can hear is my feet and the dog's feet moving at the same time. It's almost like an out-of-body experience. I've been had some challenges and some misfortunate things have happened, but to this day, there's nothing like it in my life. No sex, no marriage, no birthday party that I've ever had an out-of-body experience than when I'm showing dogs in the show ring. When I see people showing dogs today, it breaks my heart.
Why is it? Take it
It's
down.
become a profession, for real. It's a job, for real. And I can tell who loves to show the dog so that the dog represents itself the best that it can. And I can tell when a person's just doing a job. You see no emotion on the dog. Yeah, they're jumping at the Caesar show. They're jumping for the jolly ball. They're jumping for the tennis ball. But when I see that dog that's excited to see that handler, and when they go to move, the reaction on that dog's face, I know that that person has a connection with that dog. I don't see that connection anymore. I don't see the connection that a Walter Kabrowski had. Rest in peace. Jane Hobson. And there are many more. John Smith, rest in peace. I've been around, I've seen a lot of handlers. Ron Buxton. I've seen a lot of handlers that it was more than just give me my money. And I'm politically correct with the judges. I'm politically correct with the bloodlines that are coming here. So because you have that pin, PHA pin, you're just doing your job. You know you're going to win. And that's the part that I look and I see the handlers. And so I see things being done out of reputation. I see people doing copycat things. A show dog is born. and then the owner, and if they so choose, the handler molds it into what it's supposed to be, and you can see that. You can tell, you can see it. It's like a show horse. It stands on his own.
Right.
And one of the things we have it in AKC too. It's called free stacking, just like in the Seeger shows. But the free stack in the AKC is a little bit different. Once the dog is trained, you're standing on a 6 foot, 8 foot lead in front of him, and he puts his feet where it's supposed to. He's either wagging his nub or he's wagging his tail, all depending on what breed you're breeding. When a person, a handler, is showing a dog, the judge should never see the handler.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
What do I mean by that?
Yeah, please explain.
Yes. It's called show dog, not show handler. The good handlers,
Good point.
yes, the good handlers realize that it's about the dog, not about you and the dog. I hear a lot of people saying, I did this with the dog, I did that with the dog. The dog this, and me this, me. And the dog doesn't get any credit, and it shows. Because you should never see the handler. Now, he may be standing there. You may see some subtle movements, but the judges are there to see the dog, not you as the handler. In the Seeger shows in particular, I see this, which is very disturbing because it's about free stacking. I see handlers straddling the dogs. I see handlers touching the dogs, manipulating the tails, manipulating the bodies. We must remember that when you start talking about the show ring, you're talking about the best of the best. And it's okay because no dog is perfect. What's not okay is to give an illusion that the dog is. There's all kinds of tricks to the game, and yes, I understand them. I've seen them, and I've done them. But when it says free stacking, that's what it means. And the reason they want the dog to free stack is so they can see the dog in its natural stance. See, the good handlers are like the dog whisperer, and the dog's always going to land its feet straight. The good breeders put the best dogs in the ring so you never have to worry about an east-west front. But since there are no dogs that are actually perfect, there is a need to be able to use your body, meaning motion, because dogs move accordingly based on body language. I can move my shoulder and make a dog move his right leg and never touch him in the front.
Wow.
I can make him move his rear by bowing my head. I can do many things and not be seen. It's supposed to be the dog. And so therefore when I think about the handling, I think about the days of, there were many people like me, and how it's, being a handler has become monetized to the point it's me. And that's what's sad about it, because you see robots in the ring.
That don't know the art of handling.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand.
It's an art. And the good ones, it's a gift. So you can train to do something and do it over and over and over again, and you can add your own flavor to it. You can add your own style to it, but the good ones have a gift, and the dog responds to it. They are not doing it because it looks like they're forced to do it. There's never no need when I show at a Seeger show. Most people see me show like the old ways that the Germans do. And some people think that they're not doing their work. You know, you'll see a man standing there with his hand on his hip and the dog is just standing there. and the judge is critiquing the dog. That's handling. Understanding what you're there for. If it's a secret show and it says free stacking, that's exactly what it means. You shouldn't be touching the dog and manipulating the dog in no way. Now, AKC allows you to do some things, but at the end of the day, the best dogs that make to win in the best in specialty shows, that win multiple group ones, multi-all breed shows, continuously at the Westminster, having the opportunity to be at the Westminster, even have shot at the best show, you'd hardly see the handler, even though he's standing there. You see the dog, and that's missing today. And like I said, it's heartbreaking because for each breed, it hurts the breed in so many ways. And since we're speaking about the Rottweiler, it hurts them in such a manner that I don't believe people really understand. If a dog is east-west in the front, and critiques are used as database, so that critique is filed so that somebody down the road can read that critique and see the picture of that dog and get a vision of that dog. Now, if you've manipulated the front to be straight and it's east-west, everybody likes to breed to the winning dogs. That dog may not be best for the breeding program, but it's winning, and so you feel that it's correct, especially when you hear a dog says straight front, good angulation, etc., etc. So now you've got these 10, 15 critiques with these trophies and these titles. Here comes somebody who breeds based on those critiques, and they're looking for dogs with straight fronts. Guess why? Their female is slightly east-west in the front, and they may like a lot of males, but they know they have to have a straight front. So they breed to this dog on the false pretenses that he's straight in the front. Yeah, guess what you get with the puppies? East-west fronts. And it's not just the fronts, it's a lot of things, right? Rear angulation, people placing the hocks on their feet, pulling back on the lead so that it makes the dog almost squat in appearance, so he gets more angulation in the rear. Coming up to the front, almost choking the dog up to lift him off the ground, as though you're doing a puppy evaluation. See, like a puppy evaluation, you stick your hand underneath the chest and you lift him up and you let him place his feet down so you can see where he places his feet. You do the same with the rear, where they're doing it with adult dogs. And you know why they're doing it? It's because they know that there's a problem. See, it doesn't matter if you are just out of alignment. What matters is the front, if it's east-west. So they'll pull the dog up off the ground several times to place the feet, looking to make sure that that foot don't turn out. And if it starts to slightly turn out, they pull him back up again. The good dogs who are bred correctly and sound can place them. And the great handlers can manipulate the lead from a distance, like riding a horse. Yeah. Lean to the right, he'll move his left foot, and you're good. Yeah. So it's an art. It's a gift. It's a gift I miss. It's an art that I miss. But I'm getting back in the ring. I'm just getting prepared. Yes, sir. I got some apprentices. We're going to go out there and we're going to do it correctly. I will say this, hats off to those handlers, because they are doing good. They're doing great, but I don't believe they know. And if they do know, they don't care, because it's become a job. I don't think a lot of them realize just what they're doing to the breed. Not just in Rottweilers and Doberman Pinschers, German Shepherds. It doesn't matter. The breeds, the pugs, which I showed a lot of pugs, Dalmatians. We are kind of the gatekeepers. We should be able to tell a breeder, not this one, but that one. Not this one because the breeder says, no, you're going to show this one. And then that handler is supposed to be able to tell that breeder, I'm not going to show it. And she's not supposed to be able to go to another handler, he or she, just because they got the money and the power to make them as a handler. Number one, we shouldn't be able to do that.
Hello.
We as a group of handlers should be.
Step into the realm of canine wisdom with our podcast, NWA Cane Corsos, where we interview dog men and women from around the globe. Discover their talents and insights on breeding, training, nutrition, and the rich history of dogs. Tune in to the most underrated yet influential dog podcast on social media. Your journey into the dog world starts here.